What's up, guys? I am D2RxInsidious. Welcome to another episode of Critical Points. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get it.
Today we start our legacy.
Welcome back to the show. On today's episode, we will be talking about all the major leagues going on right now. Critical Academy, IF Academy, Imperious, D2R merging with Insidious, the All-Star competition, the roundtable with Ranked, and a new feature that Critical Points will be releasing for the community. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another special interview on Critical Points. Today we have the legendary Streaming Alpha. What's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Alright, so you've become pretty big in the game, Critical Ops. Tell us about the beginnings of Alpha and how you got to where you are now.
So, going into my freshman year in like the 2015, in 2015's like the school year, in August I was searching up about CS:GO alternatives and like CS:GO for mobile and that kind of stuff, and I found Critical Ops, and I was like, well, this game looks fairly new, and I know that CS:GO and Vainglory are all pro, and so I was like, hey, maybe this game can actually go somewhere. And sorry if you can hear the squeaking, that's my dog in the background.
That's all
But
good.
so I was like, hey, so maybe I could be, on the stage one day, like, how the VG players are all on the stage and stuff, and going to LANs, and I was like, maybe this game's gonna go somewhere. And so I started playing the PC version, and then in December-ish, I actually created a Twitter account, and I was working for a name, and I created a new clan, and it was called Roar, and that was back when like Critical Ops was in the good old, like the original days. And Roar obviously wasn't a big clan. It was basically like, how D2R got into a cheating scandal with like roster stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened. And that's when that was when I was in my big time low. Like starting off, you have to be really good and stuff, right? But like I basically started off on a terrible path. And so Roar, that made me think of like a lion, and how like how the lion's like the alpha of the pack.
Correct.
So that's kind of how I got Alpha as a name. And I was like, this name's kind of cool. And so Roar kind of ended, right? And then after that, I kind of got into like YouTube and Mob Crush because I really didn't know where to go from there. And so I started up my YouTube channel, and this was in like the March, like right after everything ended. And I had a phone, and like as most phone players, other than like Kai and stuff, like he's pretty good, but a lot of phone players aren't exactly like to their potential. And so I decided that I was gonna, steal $300 from my mom's wallet and go to Walmart. And so I got myself an iPad Air 2. And that's what I got. That's when I got really good.
That changed everything.
That changed everything. So then I joined Nova, which I don't know if you guys know, but that was J7's team. Back in the day, it was called John OG. And so I joined Nova, and like I was so hyped. So I got my iPad. I took the Uber home. I couldn't drive at the time. So I had to take an Uber there, and I had to come back with the Uber. And I got home, right? And then like I didn't tell my brother that I like stole money out of my mom's wallet.
Not like $10. You literally stole $300 to get to become a professional player in a game.
I was desperate, man.
That is
really
commitment
desperate.
right there.
Yeah, and so
I'm not saying you guys should do that, but that's a funny story. Go ahead.
So, like headsets and everything that came later down the road. But yeah, so I remember that day. I still remember it. So what I did was I tried to hide the iPad, but you know how it's so big, right? So what I did was I was literally sitting on the porch because I couldn't go through the front because my brother was upstairs, right? So what I had to do was I had to go around to the back, and I opened up the iPad, and what I did was I hid the iPad under my shirt and put all like the cables and everything in my pockets. And then I walked in, and I was upstairs, bro. And for the next 2 weeks, I had to hide the iPad under my pillow. And
Oh
then
my
eventually
god.
I got caught, and my parents were like, "Hey, what's this?" And I was like, "Oh, I bought this off of eBay without your permission. I'm sorry." And then they're all fine with it. But then, so the day I got back from Walmart, I screamed, and that scream is still up on my YouTube channel. It's called Nova versus I think like EN3 or something like that. And I went off, man. I really just went off. And back in the day, no one really played like no one played with thumbs, right? They
Mm-hmm.
still now people are using claw.
Claw.
And so yeah. So back then I was like using thumbs and I really wasn't that good. But I was like better than most people because no one really used claw then.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually things led up to other things and I joined Kings. And then like this like 2 days later or something, I was in like trials, right? And then I made it in. And then apparently like didn't really need me. And so I got kicked. And then so I was like, all right, man, I'm fine with this.
Yeah,
So
you like went to the top and to the bottom real fast again.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, I'm a good player. And I think it's like, because back in the day I was toxic, I really didn't give a shit about my rep.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's orgs and stuff, so I have to like maintain my
Mhm.
cool. And now I'm really chill because I have a fan base that I have to worry about, keeping
In case you guys don't know, he
maintaining.
has over 7,000 subscribers on his YouTube, which is Alpha iOS, and then also on his Twitter, which is at INS Alpha. He has over 1,000 followers, which is pretty big for someone in a mobile community.
And so yeah, where was I again? I was at
So you just left Kings, and now where did you go from Kings?
all right, so then so I started YouTube way back, right? But I didn't really maintain it. So then after I left Kings, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start up my YouTube channel again. So I started, becoming Keemstar, and I did like a community news channel thing, and that like really built up my channel to like 2,000, maybe even 3,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And then I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not doing it. I don't want to be a meme because everyone was just like making a meme out of me, and I was like tired of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm gonna try to get back into critical ops. And so one day, I really wasn't on Discord for like a month. So I checked my PMs, and I saw Jerome, who's currently in Cyclone. He's like, hey Alpha, I just created this new team. It's called Venators, and the tag was VN,
Mm-hmm.
and we're really looking for some players right now. It's gonna be me, Angel, you, if you decide to join. And so I joined, and instantly we were really good. And so what happened, the backstory behind that was that they left OL. And you know OL, right?
Mhm.
Like the Outlaws.
Outlaws.
So they left that and they created their own team, which is kind of what I did to, Cyclone. I created Insidious. But so they created that and I joined that. And eventually, OL and VN, they were like, they started being butt buddies again. So we all just merged back together into OL. And right before we were about to enter the Mobile Esports World Cup, Pun was like, you know what, guys? I don't feel like doing this anymore. I don't want, you guys to run my legacy. I'm going to close OL. And so that's when OL ended. And I was like, great. Every time I join a team, it just dies. And that was kind of like a problem I had. So I hit rock bottom again. And then Cam hit me up and he was like, all right, I'm doing Union. You want to join? And then I choked the tournament. I went 8-22. And that was just the worst. Like before Roar, like that's number 2. Like I just hit rock bottom after Union.
That's lots of rock bottoms, man.
Yeah, man. Like I've been going through up and downs in the beginning, but like now, after Union, I joined Phoenix and I got kicked from Phoenix and I joined Phoenix again. Like I probably got joined and kicked. I got kicked like 4 times, maybe even 5. And so the last time I joined Phoenix, which was, when it became into 5v5s,
Mm-hmm.
I basically was in there just to know that the team would just die eventually because, they lost to Gangstars and apparently, oh yeah, guys, let's just give up, not even try after this.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wanted to create an Omni. And apparently the whole time my teammates didn't really like me except for Cam. And so they were like, you know what? We're not going to bring Alpha with us. And I was like, all right. And I was kind of pissed. I was really mad and I blocked all of them, including Cam. And then like, the whole account stealing scandal and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all like, resolved now. And so then I joined Imperial, and we won a lot of tournaments. And Imperial is honestly such a great team. If I could join back right now, I probably wouldn't join back because of the fact that they're currently in their best right now. They're going to the land. That's great, but I have a team here. I'm not just gonna build up something just to kill it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like raising a child. You have to like nurture it, and
It's gonna
And
be
so
definitely gonna be highs and lows.
yeah, and we lose some, win some, and what matters in the outcome is what you take in, which is the income.
Mm-hmm.
And so far at Imperial, we were doing that just fine. We won like critical league. We won TDM. We won the sniper tournament. And what other tournaments did we win? I think I made over $300, which is like just my cut alone from all the tournaments that Imperial won, which is like the first time I actually won money. And that was when I just like, I couldn't thank Imperial more, because out of all the teams that I've ever been in, they basically brought me up. They made me what I am, and I'm a good player, but I didn't start winning until I joined Imperial, and I just have to forever thank them for that. And so we joined Cyclone. We signed the contract. But personally, Cyclone is not a very good org. They promised us headsets and tools and all the support, which we really never got. And
did any
so
of the members get that at all?
No. As of right now, no. And they just wanted us to wear. They just kind of like they're really pushy and stuff. And I really didn't like that. So that's not the reason why I left. But everything, the reason. Okay, so everything just builds up into one giant volcano, which just explodes. So, all right. So starting off, Cyclone. We were promised to get, tools. I can't, because I was on the contract, after the contract expires, I can't tell what's on the contract. Correct. But we were not given tools that we were promised. And I was like, why are we still in this team if they say that we're going to give you tools after you guys qualify for the LAN? Because what's the point of tools, right? Because we need them before the qualifier so we can actually qualify for the LAN. But they were like saying, all right, if you guys do this, we're going to, give you this, which intentionally gave me the thought that, all right, so maybe Cyclone's trying to gain more from us than, we're trying to gain from them. Because, it has to go two ways, right?
Correct.
So, like, okay, so if we win LAN, what do we get? We get some tools, right? Some stuff. But what happens if Cyclone wins the LAN? They get the fame. They get prize pool money. I can't tell you how much, obviously.
Yeah.
They get... that's what really brings up everything, right?
Correct.
And all for what? Just like some random tools that they didn't even give us, which isn't even like equivalent to the amount of money that's in the land.
Absolutely. Now, did they talk to you guys a lot, or was it just kind of like sporadic?
No, it really wasn't. They really weren't integrated. It was basically like we were just talking on Twitter, DMs, and not really. No one was in the Discord. And so overall, all in all, it just that was the number one. Number two was how the captains acted, and I'll be honest, Action is probably the best captain, or was the best captain in Imperial. And I really liked him. He was okay as a player. He had his ups and downs just like everyone else. Yeah. And so he was a great captain. But Retros and Drone on the other side, they were always looking for attention. All they did was leave the team Discord and then join back the next day. And they hate each other. And it was just really annoying because we never really had a solid time to practice with each other. And that was really one of my main problems because, I was on all the time. I was committed. And the only reason that Imperial is as successful as it is today is because I was just keeping the team together all the time. Whenever they wanted to break apart, all right, I'm leaving the team. I'm never coming back. I would always be like, come on, guys, what are we trying to do? We're trying to win the LAN. We're trying to go to C9, SK Gaming, all these big orgs are going to come in. And you guys are really trying to just give up now. And, they would just join back because of me. And so eventually I was just,
you got tired of it and you figured, why not just start my own team?
Yeah.
It seems like they were very toxic towards you.
Well, they were. A good description of it was being their slave, you know.
Oh my
'Cause
god.
if anything, I'm no one's bitch, you know. That's kind of how I go, and I like things my way. And they wouldn't give me captain's role because apparently I was immature or whatever, and so that pissed me off. And that's number two. Number three, Mobile Esports Summer Cup. As you guys know, Cyclone got destroyed by Gangstars, correct?
Yes.
13-5 or something like that, right? And so we were supposed to play that tournament, me and Desk, and they benched us because apparently they wanted to practice with the LAN tournament or the LAN team in a tournament. Like, just think about that. Like, you really want to practice with the LAN team in a tournament with $700?
That doesn't really make sense.
And so I was like, all right, you know, I'm kind of tired of this, all the shit that you guys put me through. I hope you guys lose to Gangsters, is what I said. And next thing you know, I'm looking at the YouTube chat. Everyone's like, "Where's Alpha? Where's Alpha? Where's Alpha? They're gonna lose without Alpha." And I was like, that really made me feel good about myself. Not gonna lie, because like I was like, all right, well, people actually care about me. And then you know, after they lost, obviously, I didn't rub it in their face. I wasn't like, ha ha ha, you guys lost to Gangsters, you guys are bad. I was just like, well, I'm just trying to give them tips. I was telling Retros, I was like, hey, Retros, maybe you want to like try this or try that. You know, you're not too good sniping defensively, so maybe you should try aggressive sniping, or maybe even Kim should pick up a sniper. And you know, I was just kind of like giving them tips because what they're my teammates, right?
Constructive criticism, you know, that'll help.
I didn't say like Retros, you're straight up shit. Don't ever play the game again. Your ass. Like I didn't say that. And then eventually, like, they banned me from the Discord. They banned me for like 7 hours, and I was like trying to get back into the Discord, right? And I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not gonna beg my way back into the team. I don't need them, and if anything, they need me more than I need them. And as of right now, I do still like them. Like they're still friends, and you know we're back to normal now. But like then I was just like, why do they do this to me? Like why am I being banned? Why am I being punished for this? Like what do you get out of this as a person? Like why are you doing this to another person? And it's kind of like going to jail just because they want you in jail. And I was like,
it's an interesting analogy, but all right.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm not putting up with this anymore. So I created a Discord and I invited everyone, right? On that same night. And everyone stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And that was low key like insidious. And then I was like, shit, I just forgot. If I really want to leave this team, I can't get fucked by the contract. And so I started contacting them and they're like, all right, well, we're not gonna end your contract because we don't want to. And you know, they're trying to like get shit out of me, right?
Okay.
And so I was like, you know what? I really don't care about the contract. Sue me. And I just left. So, and Desk eventually cleared everything up. You know, he got the documentation to back it up. And so here we are, Insidious. So first day one, Cryptic leaves, I think, on day two. But on day one, I think we lost 13-6, 13-6, 13-4, 13-1 to Gangstars and Cyclone. It was a rough day. It was a terrible day. We were losing. People were like, I don't know, man, if the team's going to get far. I don't know how far we're going to get. You know, this is maybe this wasn't a good idea. Maybe you should regret leaving Cyclone, that old thing. And I was like, you know what, guys? I'm not the kind of guy that just gives up on day one. You know, things take time to settle. You can't just you know, lose the 300 pounds.
Teams
in a day.
basically develop over months and years, especially in the esports world. You're not, just because you put a bunch of good players together doesn't mean that the chemistry is there. You have to build team chemistry.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so day two, right? We see more improvements, 13-11 and 13-9 to 13-12-ish against Gangstars, Cyclone, and you know, other teams like that. We were actually getting places, and so like I was thinking, like, you know what, guys, maybe this team's actually gonna go somewhere. Don't give up. But you know, Cryptic bricked his iPad, you know, quote bricked his iPad. I really don't know if he did it, but you know, I was just like, you know what, maybe it's best if I just let you go because I don't know if you're trying to leave. And he's like, really? I don't know, man. What's up with Cryptic? But so Cam created a new team, and I think Cryptic's gonna go to it, but probably. I really don't know.
Him and Kai are probably gonna go.
Yeah, Kai already went. You know the Discord's up, right? As of right now.
Oh yeah, you'll have to tell everybody the Discord channel.
Yeah, I'll tell you that about that later. And so Cryptic left, and I was like, all right, so, every time a player leaves, so either an opportunity to, get someone new, give someone a chance, or just keep the roster the same. And right now we have like 8 people in the roster, 7 people, which is like the max. So I think we're pretty good.
Right.
And so Cryptic left, which opened up some spots. And Cryptic and God really didn't get well together. They were kind of like enemies, but like jokingly. Like, how you like joke around but like hate someone?
He's like, I'm joking, but not really, but I am.
Well, yeah, he's like, so they're like, you're so bad. And you're like, they're joking about it all the time. And, kind of got annoying to God. And so he decided to just like, all right, Alpha, I think we should get rid of Cryptic. And I was like, all right, man, if it's for the better of the team. And this is like what I like to say the best. Eventually, everything works out.
True.
That's like my motto. If something happens, like, say my whole team leaves, right? Say Insidious just leaves. I'll be like, all right, well, I can't hold you guys back. You guys aren't snakes. It's up to you if you want to leave or if you want to stay. I can't hold you guys. And everything works out for the best eventually. And here we are, Insidious. So who do I pick up? I see D2R. I see a lot of people getting kicked, a lot of people leaving. I was like, hey, maybe D2R is ending. No offense, Legacy. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's fine. I have to keep it unbiased, so it's all good, man.
I saw a lot of good players in D2R. I wasn't sure if they were actually legit or not, but eventually, after like testing them out and stuff, they're pretty damn good. And when people first see our roster, they're like, damn, this is a roster. They are completely, they're not good. Like God, Vesk, all these names, like these are like tier 2 players, and like how are they gonna be tier teams, like tier 1 teams, right? And they're like, all right, I bet this team's gonna last 30 days, quoted by Krasik. And so I decided to pick up like, let me check the roster real quick. I decided to pick up Karma, SMG, and Trax. And this came through like a couple days after Cryptic left, because people were just like, all right, I'm gonna leave, or I'm going to just stay here if this person leaves, or I'm gonna leave if this person stays. Oh, wow. And so Lean eventually left, and I was like, all right, man, that's great. You were inactive. That opens a spot up for someone that's not going to be inactive. And so after Lean left, I was like, you know what? At first, I didn't want to pick up Krim because he had a what's it called? A what's it called? Like when he had a like a thing in the community. He was known to be this. He is like
controversy. Yeah,
he was he was a very controversial player, but like because he's toxic and he's a good player, but like those like they don't really fit together well if you're trying to join a team. And so Krim, eventually I was like, all right, Krim, listen, I'm gonna give you a 3-strike rule. Like, no more like being toxic. We really need a player in this team. Really need a good player. And so I was like, all right, Krim, I'm gonna pick you up. And Krim was like, all right, dude, I'd definitely be interested in it. And he's currently our in-game leader. And I think it's working out pretty well for us. And so I pick up Krim, and the team's doing really well. We beat Cyclone countless times. We beat Gangstars a lot as well. And I think we're a tier 1 team right now. And everything's really going great. And so I was like, all right, guys, well, we haven't really won a tournament, and there's not really going to be a tournament for a long time. And so I really don't think we can get into an org that's going to be great. And, I was contacting like teams like Circa, Nova, teams like Tribal Gaming. And none of that stuff seemed to like actually work out, because I never really got a DM back. I sent a long ass DM to one of their managers and stuff, and I never really got back. And then one day, which happened to be like, I think yesterday, right? Or maybe the day before.
Yesterday.
Yeah, you were like, all right, Alpha, I want to talk to you. But you really didn't talk to me because I was desperate to know what you wanted to say. Because I was like, all right, maybe he's going to invite me to D2R. And eventually, you asked Desk, and Desk told me, and I was like, damn, let's see what we can, let's see if they can offer what we need. And so you guys offered us exactly what we needed to like progress as a team and get better. And so we're like, all right, maybe we need to sign with this team. And so we signed with you guys, and right now it's going great. You guys are really D2R is really. I'll just talk about you in third person. D2R is a very interactive team. They're always in our private chats. They're always talking to us, signing us up for tournaments, updating our rosters, and we just got the contracts today as well. And so it's definitely a lot more interactive than Cyclone ever was. And it's great because you're a great manager. A lot of the behind the scenes stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And so Insidious, I think right now is at a pretty good point. And today we just lost God, which does open up a spot. So I'm currently looking for a recruit. And I'm trying to pick up someone good, but if it comes down to it, I'll pick up someone okay and train him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like if you want to make a team, it's not about finding the best players. All right, I want Cam, I want Drone, I want Retros, I want Joker, I want Takis, I want Ops. It's not about picking the best players. It's about picking the people that are available. It's about picking the underdogs.
Yeah, and it's building the right team too. People will play position roles just like in any sport. Like you have the 6-man in basketball, you have the linemen in football that aren't the heroes, but they do their part for the team to win. So I mean, everyone plays a part in the game, all the way up to the managers and the staff. So I think what you're doing is great, putting together a solid roster, and it sounds like you guys actually care about your team. You had said earlier that basically there was no tournaments. Luckily, Mobile Esports, just dropped the KOA 2. You guys are currently signed up for that. Are you excited about that? And what do you think the possible outcome could be?
I'm definitely excited about that. And the outcome, I don't know. It's not about winning. Well, it is about winning, obviously, but it's also about who plays the most, who wins the most. So I'm gonna try to definitely keep my team on and grinding on that. And hopefully we actually win it, because it's like a win it or lose it kind of deal. And so yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll be good too for just to get your guys' name out there. It's a fresh tournament. It would have been hard for you guys to jump in midway through some of the tournaments that D2R was currently in. So it gives you guys a chance, and it's good because it's not a one and done. So that's also good. So
yeah. It's definitely great because how they stream the matches, right? And that kind of gets our name out there. Like, say we beat Gangstars or Cyclone stream, and people are going to be like, Insidious, D2R.
Mm-hmm.
This team is, pretty good, and people are going to actually start, getting interested in us and fanboying over us. And, it's already great. And then 4 days.
Go ahead.
And so 4 days into releasing the team, right? Because I think we released it on the 27th to the 26th. We already have over 600 members in our Discord. And last time I checked the Cyclone Discord, there's only 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're definitely catching up to them in Discord members, which means people are definitely interested to see the outcome of our team.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of chatter when it was announced that we merged, and it went from, literally within 1 day, went from D2R's dead to holy shit. So,
yes.
It's
definitely great.
A lot of people don't realize that half the roster came from D2R, so I didn't see why it was kind of a problem,
Yeah.
But it's a great merging because there's a lot of D2R fans, and you have a lot of fans, so everyone's really, like you said, interested to see how this is going to work out and how it plays out. So I think it'll be great for the community as well. I mean, and a lot of people are going to hate because people just hate. That's how it is. But with success and moving forward and stuff, you get the haters. If you don't get a hater, that means you're not relevant.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Success, you can't be successful without having any, down dips in your career. And, the only way you can actually be successful is to fall,
Mm-hmm.
to rise. Because when you rise, you can eventually cap off. But if you fall, you can rise.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's always room to get better at the game. And, see if he's going to improve their stuff. They're going to improve the anti-cheats, and they're going to add new kind of things into the game. And it's still really early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely see a future for Critical Ops.
It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, the devs are doing what they can. The tournaments are there. Some tournaments are ran a little better than others. But at the same time, we should be thankful as a community that we do have content. We do have tournaments. We do have streamers and like you and content creators like Toy and news like Toy does and other content creators and King. So I mean, I think what we do for the community helps out the community as well. So I think there's a lot of big things coming, big positives, and ironically, I feel like this interview could have been featured on the comeback because literally you've bounced back 4 or 5 times already. So
Yeah.
that's exciting to see someone that hasn't given up, and we see it a lot. Teams, you've seen the Twitter chat, like what's going on in NA, where people are disbanding and leaving and stuff. So it's definitely people are juggling their rosters, not necessarily for LAN, but I think now after LAN, post LAN. Like now people are
Yeah,
kind of not worried about LAN. They're juggling their teams for post LAN, knowing that there's still tournaments coming up. The Alliance probably has to throw out a big tournament. Mobile Esports just announced theirs, and the possible LAN in the end by the end of the year. So
yeah, definitely. Like, ESL is hosting a LAN. Obviously, I can't go because I'm still 15 years old. I turned 16 in October, and that's quite time off. But like I said, or I didn't say yet, but this is the first LAN, right? And the first means that this is going to be the smallest, which means there's always going to be more to come. So if I can't go to this one, I can definitely go to the next one.
hmm
And I really want to go to a LAN because that's kind of on my bucket list,
hmm
because just think about the experience, like playing on stage, having hundreds of fans watching you play,
hmm
and like the cheering and the autographs, and like even just getting stuff from the team, like the org, like you get care packages, and
Yep,
it's just
absolutely.
it's just all great experience, to be honest.
Because people don't think of esports as literally a sport, and it is. And people that don't know anything about esports, when they actually see an actual live event, LAN, like it blows their mind. Like, oh wow, these guys fill up stadiums, and like there's all over the world, especially in Europe and Asia. Like it's literally a global event that a lot of people don't even realize is such a huge market and demographic. And it's like people are playing video games. Kids are playing video games, and they get to live out their dreams about being on a stage and like having fans. That's like a dream come true. So hopefully the game continues to grow, especially since you literally were looking for something like this to have your quote unquote ESL moment, which is still could be out there. So I wish you definitely the best of luck. Do you want to shout out to any of your homies, your Twitter, your YouTube? I know we touched on it, but go ahead.
Yeah, you can sub to my YouTube channel, Alpha iOS. I'm pretty sure Legacy's gonna put the description or the link in the description. Sorry,
Absolutely.
and as well as the Discord, and that's gonna be in the description as well. To Insidious and D2Rs probably. And I just want to say one last thing to all the viewers watching, if that's fine with you.
Absolutely.
Definitely, guys. In life, it doesn't matter what you want to be. It doesn't matter like how you find a way to do it. Just don't ever be a follower in your life. You always want to be a leader. Don't ever give up on your dreams, on your hopes, because even if you don't get there, you're just gonna keep moving forward in life. And there's no time machine right now, and I'm pretty sure there will be in the future, but as of right now in life, you can't ever move back. So there's no space for regrets. There's no space for decisions that you would just hope you never made. But there's always room for decisions that are to come and decisions to move you in a full path and a great path for your future. And when I left Cyclone, I had no regrets. And I made Insidious. We lost scrims, and now we're winning. And we lose scrims still, but there's nowhere we can't ever get worse. The only place we can ever go is to the place where everyone's a pro player,
hmm
better on stage, and that's like the most important thing in life is just to never give up.
Absolutely. I mean, well said. I couldn't have said it any better myself, man. And that's good. Fans out there will definitely look up to you. Keep it positive. So thanks for the interview, man. Shout out to our sponsors as well: Razer, Box Bosses, Jerky XP, Gamer Subs, and Techni Sport. Use code D2R Esports for 10% off. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace.